What I know for sure is that it takes courage to be disliked. And if you are someone who operates in the energy of being a pushover, you understand what I'm saying. It takes great courage to be disliked by others. And I say energy because we're not born pushovers. No, we're born with a backbone. We're born brave and beautiful. However, our experiences shape and mold us into the people that we become. And for a lot of people, that means operating in the energy or the spirit of being a pushover. However, like me, because I suffered with this during my younger years too, but once I realized, accepted, and embraced the fact that I wasn't created for disrespect. I wasn't created to allow people to walk all over me. I was created to be valued and appreciated. I stepped outside of that energy of being a pushover, and you will too. Once you realize that loving yourself is more important than being liked by those who don't love or like you, you'll stop being a pushover. You will also stop being a pushover when you realize that having the courage to be disliked opens the door to more genuine, authentic love. When you realize all of those things, you will stop being a pushover. I too had to realize those things. But granted, yes, because I've been there, done that, I understand that it may be difficult. It may be difficult for us to honor ourselves if all we've known is dishonor. And I say dishonor because when we give away our self-respect, when we lay our self-respect to the wayside and allow other people to walk all over us and to disrespect us, that is a form of dishonoring who we are. And it also may have something to do with your childhood. Maybe your view of love is obscured based upon how you grew up. Maybe the love you experienced as a child or as a young adult was a love centered around what I call the suffer principle. That could be the case. Or maybe the idea that pain is an everlasting part of love, the suffer principle. We all know that's not true. Pain isn't an everlasting part of love, but we're taught that based on what we see as children growing up. You may have heard phrases like, that's just how they are, or they really didn't mean what they said, or even this one's a very familiar one. We'll just love them through it. They're family. We can't just get rid of them. We just have to love them through it. Although they're disrespecting us, they're not honoring us, they're not valuing us, but we have to sit and disrespect ourselves, dishonor ourselves, and throw our value out of the window because we just got to love them through it. If we love them through it, it'll get better. The suffer principle. Or maybe you didn't hear words at all. Maybe you witnessed silent pain. Been there, done that. Shown through expressive emotion. That pain to where it's so painful, you can't even say anything, but your face says it all. Your face and your energy says everything that your lips cannot say. Expressive emotion. Those could all be reasons, valid reasons as to why you are a pushover. However, they're not excuses, because once we become adults, we are responsible for our own lives. We are responsible for unlearning the negative things that we learned as young adults. That's responsibility. That's a form of self-love, self-respect, to unlearn the toxicity that we may have learned when we were younger. That is so good. And I can relate to all of this because I have been there and done that. However, what I did know and what I believe I learned more later in life was that tiptoeing around a person's footsteps and feelings was a form of bondage and captivity worth breaking free from. Tiptoeing around a person's feelings and footsteps is a bondage worth breaking free from. It's no way to live. And allowing ourselves to be pushovers is the same form of bondage and captivity. It says that I'm willing to lay my life to the side to allow you to walk all over me, to live yours. That's no way to live. Now, I'm not saying to be brutal or blunt with people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that when you respect and value yourself enough, you won't have to. Because value and respect will walk before you and behind you and on the sides of you. It's energy. And if you operate in that energy, if you believe it and embrace it, people are going to believe it and see it. They aren't going to disrespect you because you respect yourself. Usually what we give ourselves, we get in return if we truly respect ourselves. Because at the end of the day, I want you to recognize and understand that you were created on purpose, even if you don't feel like it. My life is a complete show of chaos. Nothing good has happened in my life. You may be saying these things. You may feel this way. Every day, it's an up, down, all around kind of moment for me. I'm never happy. These are all things that you could be experiencing or feeling, emotions. But I promise you, you were created on purpose with a specific purpose in here for a purpose. You were created on purpose with purpose for a specific purpose. The key is believing that you have a purpose, a reason for being. But I can guarantee you this, being a pushover, letting yourself be a red carpet for others to step on is not a part of that purpose. It is not a part of that purpose because you matter. Who you are matters. You're valuable and you were created to be appreciated. If you appreciate others, if you value others, if you respect others, why on earth do you not expect the same thing in return? That's a part of the knowing. A part of knowing who you are is being able to command the respect that you deserve, that you're worthy of. And being a pushover doesn't allow us to command the atmosphere. It doesn't allow us to say, hey, you're going to respect me. And if you don't, we are going to sever this relationship, this connection. No, being a pushover makes you say, okay, well, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just going to stay quiet. I'm just going to let them keep hurting me and disrespecting me and belittling me because it's a part of love. They'll stop one day. Normally that day never comes. So allowing yourself to be pushed around constantly, walked over and belittled or disrespected is not a part of who you are. It is not a part of your purpose. And knowing that is key to stepping out of the pushover energy. Now, remember, people don't have to like you. And most likely, a lot of people may not like you, just like a lot of people don't like me. I'm okay with that. I'm good. I have the courage to be disliked. But people don't have to like you. But good heavens, they should want to respect you. And if you respect yourself, they're going to respect you. Because you're walking in that great energy of self-respect. It matters. But I know it's easier said than done. It takes great practice, especially because transitioning from a pushover to a person of power usually involves confrontation. And someone who operates in the energy or the spirit of being a pushover normally doesn't like confrontation. And that's okay. I understand. I empathize with you. Like I said, I've been there and I've done that too. And so I know that it's not an easy transition. So I want to share 2 ways that you can command respect, even if you have been a pushover your entire life. If you start incorporating these 2 ways, things will change. The first thing you can do is to go the other way. This simply means if you can't say anything worthy of gaining respect, walk away from those who disrespect you until you can. Because if you don't, you will continue being a punching bag for bullies. So if you cannot say anything to gain respect from those people who love disrespecting you, walk away until you can. It is no shame in your game. This is an act of self-love because you are honoring yourself. You're giving yourself time to improve. You're giving yourself time to find the courage that you need to stand up for yourself, because we're not perfect. A lot of these things in life requires us to take lessons. We have to learn these things. We're not born with them. Sometimes we learn them a little later in life, and that's okay. No judgment. Walk away if you need to. And the second way you can stop being a pushover is through self-defining or self-definition. This means setting solid boundaries that define what is and is not acceptable behavior towards you. This is good because we know that solid boundaries just change the entire landscape of relationships. And when you self-define who you are and what you will and will not take, it's going to command the respect from those who feel as though they do not need to respect you. So set those boundaries, because this tells others you value who you are and you expect to be treated as such. Just as they want to be valued, so do you. And if they cannot respect those boundaries, then you have got to sever the connection. Even if it is extended family, sever the connection. You're better off, because people who don't value, appreciate, and respect you often never will until or unless you put your foot down. If you don't, they're going to continue using you as a red carpet, as a stepping stone. Now, if this involves children, young children or adults, and they see you as a pushover mom, maybe you make dinner and they don't want to eat the dinner, so you take them to McDonald's every time they pull that foolishness. They do this because they know when mom is going to take us to McDonald's, all we have to say is we don't like the food or we don't want to eat what she cooked. If this is the case, shock them. Do something different. When they come home from school or when you come home from a long day's work, don't even ask them what they want to eat. You just get in the kitchen and cook. Either they eat it or they don't. If they decide not to eat it, you know what's going to happen? You're going to sit and eat. You're going to get up from the table, wash your dishes, and go and relax. Later on, you're going to hear your fridge open and your pantry open because they're hungry. But you know what's not going to happen? Mommy didn't take us to McDonald's, and she always takes us to McDonald's. What's going on? Why didn't she take us? All of these questions are going to be going through their head. But you know what you just did? You changed the game, my friend. You changed the narrative of what mommy will and will not accept. This works with adults too. Change your response. Stop saying yes all the time. Tell them no. And see what happens. You're going to either see the weeds and get rid of them, or find the fruit and keep them. Because people will always show you who they really are. And oftentimes, when you set boundaries and they don't want to abide by those boundaries, the mask will fall off. They will show you who they truly are. And then it's your responsibility to either stay in the connection or to disconnect from the connection. But at the end of the day, it is about you not being a pushover and you respecting yourself. Because like I said, it takes courage to be disliked. It's not easy, but it is possible. I am author and healer Katie Gates, and this is the place where I help women like you and me become the best people that we can be. If that is your thing, subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and drop me a comment. Let me know, are you always a pushover? Have you always been a pushover? And if you have, why? And then let me know what you're going to do to stop being a pushover. I would love to know. And I always love reading comments. So there you have it. 2 amazing ways to stop being a pushover. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.